Hello everyone, myself Ritesh. I have 5 years of experience into data engineering and data analytics field. My key skills or key expertise are Power BI for reporting purpose, the database that is SQL, and I have also have expertise into Azure Cloud, which includes ETL that is Azure Data Factory, ADLS, Logic Apps, and Databricks. I've been working for multiple MNCs since last 5 years. I've worked for retail, I've worked for automobile, and I've also worked for cloud and technological domains. Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about getting started with ADF. We will create a ADF in Azure Portal, how to create an ADF Azure Data Factory instance or a Data Factory instance in Azure Portal, what all combinations we need to select, how the costing would be. We will see all that components. Apart from ADF, we will also try to create a storage account. So storage account is nothing but to store our data. Maybe we can use that storage account to as a source, and then we can pull in the data using ADF, using any activity, and transform or copy that data with the help of copy activities. Then ingest it into the same storage account, or then ingest it into another folder in the same storage account. So we will see how to create a data factory, how to create a storage account. So let's head up towards the Azure portal. So this is how the Azure portal would look like. Um, Whenever you first try to log in the Azure portal, so this is the basic UI or start page of Azure portal. So there are multiple services available. If you go towards the preview option, you can see some of the few favorite listed services, the home tab, the dashboard tab. You can directly create a resource here, or else if you want to create any services, yeah, click on services, all services, and you can see the services as per the category they have mentioned. If not, directly go to all services. So this all services tabs gives us what all services we have created in our subscription. Just to make it more precise, the cloud architecture works in the a particular format where we have to create a subscription first. So subscription is the highest level. Once that subscription is created, you need to create a resource group. So a subscription might have multiple resource group in it, and after resource group, these all services comes into picture. So subscription, resource group, and services under these resource group. So many services can be clubbed together in one resource group, and many resource group can be clubbed together in one single subscription. So moving forward, we would directly see how we can create an ADF, the data factory, how we can create a storage account here. So whenever you create a free account at the start in Azure portal, you would get around $200 credits, around 15k, 15 to 16k credits, 15k, 16k Indian rupees credits are available for 30 days time period, or whatever. I mean, if the amount gets exhausted within 30 days, either of them works. I mean, 16k Indian rupees or 30 days, which would be earlier. That is how this free subscription or 200 credit, 200 US dollar credit works. So whenever you create a subscription, yeah, log in with that subscription. Once that subscription is completed, once that amount is exhausted, it's a pay as you go service. Azure is one of the best clouds used in this current scenario. I mean, it's a pay as you go cloud service. So you have to add a payment method there. Once a payment method is done, once your 30 days trial period is over, or 200 credits are over, you can go pay as you go. I mean, whatever services you are using, depending on the usage, the amount would be deducted from the payment method you have selected. So this is the UI of Azure portal. So directly what we will do is, once a free subscription, I mean, once a free account is a trial account is created, you would get a free subscription here. So first we would see what type of subscription we have. So this is a free trial subscription. If you click here, subscription, it's a type of service available in Azure portal. So you can directly type subscription, or recent services. You can get suggestions here. Just to type it, subscription, you would get the key icon like subscription. So subscription, it's a kind of key service where it is must to create any services under a particular resource group. So subscription, resource group, and multiple services in a resource group. So you can see here when was the, I mean, the billing period. What is the billing period here? Subscription name is a free tile. Currency Indian rupees. Status is active. So what was the offer ID for us? So this is being used by Azure team only. The offer ID given to us. So you can check here top products by number of resources. So what all services we are using, database, any key vault, any SQL servers, or any data factories here. So this is the starting credit. This is the credit remaining cost by resources. So these all a kind of dashboard or KPIs are available whenever you go to a particular subscription or click on particular subscription. There is an option called as access control here. You can check your access for that subscription, whether you have administrator access or what type of access you have. So as I said, a free trial is created on your own account. So you are the service administrator for that complete subscription. Once this subscription is created, there is a concept called as resource group. You can check or you can type here directly. So this is the resource group. So every subscription has multiple resource group in it, and every resource group has multiple services clubbed together. So for now, I have created a KSR Data Vision resource group where we have these many number of services clubbed together. In case of free trial, we can create multiple resource group. For now, I have created a resource group. I mean, KSR Data Vision, one single resource group only. Either you can create a resource group from here directly. If you want to create a new resource group, directly create a new, you would find the details subscription. It's a free trial. So as I've created KSR Data Vision, let's create it KSR underscore test. And by default, US East is the selected region for any free trial. You can change it to any region, but I guess it won't work as the free trial is restricted up to US 1 only. Let's see. I've selected US 2. Go to tags, review, and create. Yep, you can select other region also, I guess, but for certain resources or certain services under these resource group, the region, the change of region in free trial won't work. So create it. Validation is passed. Yeah, KSR test resource group is created. So in this resource group, you can go ahead and create whatever services you want. It would go to the marketplace and you can find what all services are available directly here. There are a few suggestions also how much amount you it would be charged. I mean, you would be charged per hour or per GB or per year also, or else. And for this video, we will try to create a Azure Data Factory here. So we have introduced. I mean, we have seen introduction of Azure ADF. What does ADF mean? How does it important? I mean, how is it important for any ETL purpose? How can we use that ADF? It's a part of Azure Cloud Portal only. So for now, I have created a KSR practice, but let's see if we can create a new data factory. So subscription is by defaultly selected. It's a free trial. We have created two different resource group. You can select any of the resource group which you want. You can create, I mean, you can select KSR test, which we have created, or else if you want to create a new resource group, you can create a resource group directly from any of the services if you are trying to create. So in data factories also, it's a kind of service. You can also create a resource group here, new resource group. But for now, we have created a KSR test. Yeah, I'll move it to the KSR test only. Name of data factory, KSR ADF test. Select region you want. So for now, by default, version of ADF is version 2. So as I said, there were two versions, version 1 and version 2. Version 2 was introduced where the concept of data flow, the concept of use of ADLS came into picture, and version 2. So by default, it's a version 2 subscription. If you go to Git configuration, so if you want to configure Git, Git has nothing but a version control tool. So for every ADF, it is not compulsory that we need to connect it to a Git or any ADO board, DevOps concept. So Git, I mean, if you are creating multiple pipelines and if you want to modify a single pipeline in that, when you have configured that data factory to the Git, you can see whoever have changed that pipeline, when was that pipeline changed, last pipeline changes, and when was it republished. So with the connection of Git, you can control, I mean, what all versions of pipelines were earlier and how that pipeline has evolved till today. So by default, you cannot, configure Git later is already selected. If you deselect it, yeah, you need to give Azure DevOps or GitHub details here. But for now, we are not selecting any Git. Just the data factory would be created in the cloud environment. If you click on next, networking, so you need to select via public endpoint or private endpoint. We are selecting public, anyone can connect. So data factory encryption, we don't need any encryption here. Tags, not required. Review and create. Validation is not done. Okay, the name contains letters. This is something wrong. Review and create. Yep, that is gone. You can create a data factory. So it would deploy the data factory to the resource group and subscription which you are a part of. So it is still in progress. You can see multiple components available here. The start time, when was it started? The deployment is complete. So if you click on go to resource, this is what you can see. You have multiple CPU runs, trigger runs, pipeline runs, activity runs. These all dashboard related components, KPIs are available. If you click on launch studio, it would launch the Azure Data Factory in a different in window. So this is how the ADF look like. The ADF basic architecture, where we have towards left, where we have a ribbon like structure. It's a ribbon where we have an option called as home. Home is nothing but the home tab here. Author, author tab, where we can create, or where we can take multiple activities and create multiple pipelines there, multiple link services or data sets, data flows. There's option called as power query also, date change data capture. So this is a new concept, this is a new introduction, change data capture, where it captures the changed data. It's in preview mode, it is yet to be published in a complete set of feature in the data factories. The third option is a monitor, where you can monitor pipeline runs, the triggered pipelines or manual debug pipelines, what all triggers you have created and how and when these triggers have been running since. I mean, you can change the date also. You have custom date, you have last 730 days also available. You can filter out the triggers with the help of trigger names, with the help of latest runs, with the help of running, waiting, succeeded, what all changes you have done. You can select. There are multiple sorting or filters available for trigger runs, pipeline runs. Also, the fourth tab is manage tab, where you can check the data sets and link services created. Git configuration, there is no Git configuration found, as we haven't used a Git while creating the data factory itself. If you want also, you can configure it once you have created a data factory. You can configure it from the manage tab here. You only need to pass the Git credentials here, and it would connect at the back end. It would connect with the data factory for version control. I mean, what all versions, I mean, what all changes you have done for a particular pipeline or a complete data set. And the last one is the learning center. So it would navigate to the Microsoft Docs, where you would learn the Azure Data Factory. So these are the five components available towards the left side or ribbon page. When we'll go back to the home again. So you can see few um, KPIs or few charts available here. Ingest data, copy data at a large scale once or on a schedule. So these are some of the features of Azure Data Factory, where you can also configure SSIS, you can transform data, you can orchestrate. Orchestrate is nothing but the automation of pipelines without any manual intervention. So this is how the basic UI look like. So we mainly do the pipeline creations, the data set creation, the link service creation in the author tab. This is the most important tab. In monitor tab, we can monitor the triggers, the pipeline runs, the integration runtimes, what all we have created in the author tab. And in case of manage tab, yeah, it contains link services, what link services we have created. So how can we create a normal pipeline? I will give you a basic introduction of pipeline. Yeah, once you select, go to pipeline, new pipeline, and select, you can create a pipeline. You can change the pipeline name here. Once this is created, so you can see an activity tab directly comes into picture. So what all activities we have, there are multiple activities which are clubbed together as per their um, exact transform or exact activity part they are of. In case of move and transform, we have copy and data flow activities. In case of Azure Data Explorer, which is nothing but Custo, we have Azure Data Explorer activity. In case of Databricks, we have a Databricks notebook, jar, and Python concepts available. There are multiple. I mean, if you go to general, there is a delete activity, there is an execute pipeline. You can create a pipeline and you can execute that pipeline from a different pipeline. So this is an execute pipeline activity, metadata activity, lookup activity, set variable, a web activity, a wait activity. So these are all activities are available once you create a new pipeline. This activity ribbon or this activity page, this tab is by defaultly available here. You can minimize that tab also. You can minimize this factory resource tab as well. So this is what the Azure Data Factory getting started would look like. How to create a data factory, how to create, I mean, from a particular free trial subscription, from a resource group, and then create a pipeline, what all tabs we have in this Azure Data Factory. We will also create a small storage account. So there is a service called as storage account. These are the storage account. If you click on storage account, yep. So you can see here, if you want to create a new storage account, click on create. These basic advanced networking, data protection, these all tabs are available in each service. I mean, whenever you try to create any service, you can directly review in the first step itself and you can directly publish it. But just to be aware what each tab contains, we are going through each of the tab. Let's create a storage account. So free trial. Resource group is KSR Datavizon. We have created two. I mean, I already that the KSR Datavizon is was available. We have also created KSR test, but let's create this storage account in KSR Datavizon. Uh, Give the storage account name KSR is storage. Region select this is US2. So the performance. So performance is nothing but a kind of license or the amount which we need to pay with the use of this storage account. So standard recommended for most general scenarios, and premium recommended for that requires very low latency. So latency is nothing but when a bulk amount of data comes into picture, there would be a latency in data. I mean, every time we push a data, every time we call a data from a storage account, it might take some time to load, or it might take some time to pull that data into whatever copy activity or whatever activities we are using Azure Data Factory or any other services. There might be a latency in data. There might be a mismatch in data. I mean, if you're trying to pull a data at a particular time, around, you can say, 5 p.m. in the evening, but the data is working as per 4 p.m. instance. So there is a 1 hour latency. So latency is nothing but the data which is present in past, or there is some data mismatch or refresh issue, which is called as latency. So premium would work with that. But yeah, we are only dealing with certain amount of records only. We can use the standard or by default option available here. Redundancy. You can select, I mean, what type of redundancy you want: geo, local, zone, and geo zone. So whatever is by defaultly selected, we have to keep it like that. It would be easy for us. Going to advanced tab, um, what all versions we have, the latest version, the TLS latest version. um, Go to networking, enable public access from all networks, data protection. Okay, tabs, blobs and files only. So you can select blobs and files only or all services. This option cannot be shared. Okay, so you need it to select. I mean, if you want to only create a storage account where you only want to save blobs, binary large objects, or files only, or all type of tables, queues, and files also. So we will select all services type. Encryption type, customer managed keys and Microsoft managed keys. So customer managed key, yeah, if you select that, So this would be granted to a particular key vault. There is a concept called as key vault here. You need to create a key vault. Key vault is also a type of service where you can store any of these services keys there. But for now, we will create Microsoft managed keys. Next is tag. Next is review. Yeah. Once review is done, you get the create option. So as of now, this is grayed out. This is in review mode. Yep, the create option is enabled now. Click on create. So deployment is in progress. It is submitting the deployment details, whatever details we have selected. So there are multiple services which we will be covering in our videos. The concept of key vault. So what exactly a key vault is, how to use that key vault and secrets from that key vault, how to store multiple services secrets in that key vault and access them directly wherever we want without entering our own credentials directly, which would expose, or these credentials would be directly exposed to the end user, and it might cause the data issue, or it might cause the data would be exposed to some other users apart from which you want to share. So the concept of secret and key vault comes into picture. Then we will create a different video on that. So this is the for storage account. Once this is created, go to resource. So there are multiple options available here towards the left side. You can minimize this window also. Monitoring, settings, automation, classic. So for once this is created, the main option is containers here. Containers are nothing but where you can create a folder or a container and you can save the data. You can copy the data from here and you can also ingest the data here. It acts like a storage account. It acts like a storage accounts are nothing. I mean the in Azure, the storage account now are a part of ADLS, Azure Data Lake Services, where you can store multiple data. Data Lake Gen 2, Gen 1 has been a kind of historical concept. Nowadays, ADLS Gen 2 is more into picture. We would also create a different video of what is basic difference between ADLS Gen 1 and Gen 2, how they differ. So for now, this is a storage account which is ADLS Gen 2. If you go to containers, you can create multiple containers or folders here. Let's suppose we create KSR practice. Should might contain small letters. Okay, practice. Select advanced option. This is not available. Create. Yeah, this folder is created. So in this folder, you can save multiple files. You can upload files from our local system also. Yeah, this is what the local system. You can directly copy files from the storage account in ADF with the help of ADF link services and datasets. We will create a different video where how exactly a dataset, how exactly a link service is created. So for this video, we were focusing on how to create a data factory, how to create a storage account, what all, concepts, how does a subscription, how does a resource group look like, what all services you can club together in a single resource group, and then number of resource group can be created in a single subscription. So this was about these concepts in this video. That's all for now. Thank you.